Okay, so I'm going to ask you first to please tell us your name and where you're from. And you can tell me, because I'm going to get this piece.
Okay.
It's going to be separate. I'm going to have to show separately.
Okay.
You want closer? Okay, I'll do this. Am I out of the camera? You got it? Okay. You see this or no?
Yes, no.
No.
Let's go.
Okay. So, please tell me where you're from and what's your name?
My name is Pua Nani Mahoi. Pua is flower. Nani is beauty. So it means beautiful flower. And Mahoi, twins. So I take it as a flower that has bloomed twice.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It is very beautiful. And I am from upcountry on the island of Maui.
And what's in your heart, if you could share, is the most pressing issue to you at this time that you would like to share with the world?
Well, my kuleana responsibility is to come out and share the teaching of Aloha. Why? Because Aloha is the birthright of all living beings. So I'd just like to gently remind them of their birthright, to not only live Aloha, but be Aloha.
So maybe your answer will be the same to the next question, because what I ask, I travel all around the world and I meet with many different cultures, and I always ask, I'm curious to know if there was one thing that you could give to the children, to the next generation, one tool, one resource, one ability, that would help them to stay balanced and more connected in the world that we're going to leave behind for them, which may be less balanced than what we inherited. What would be that piece?
It would be the teaching of their birthright, which is Aloha.
Which is Aloha. All right, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about music, because I know that music's a very important part of your culture, and
yes.
Chant and mantra. And so I'm going to have you explain, though, to the audience, can you tell me how music is integrated into, or is a critical part of your experience, your life experience, your family experience, your ritual, your culture? You know?
Well, to begin with, I was born into a family of music, dancing, chanting, performing. This is how I grew up. My father was a professional musician, one of the youngest in this state of Havaí. He was 17 years old when he went out to play on Oahu at Waikiki. And I don't remember what the name was.
Uh-huh.
But he played with a very versatile, well-known artist whose name was George Archer.
Sure.
So it was there that my father began, a part of the upcoming future legacy, of music. Mm-hmm. He was always home. He would be cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner at the stove. And he would be humming, singing, playing. Of course, we children would walk in there and listen, and we would sit at the table and listen.
Right.
And then he would come and sit and share what he was singing about. And he had a beautiful falsetto voice. So I thought every Kanaka family, every Kanaka family, Hawaiian family, lived as how we lived. Our daddies coming out singing. Mm-hmm. And before he went out to play a gig or perform, he always came into our room as he tucked us in bed and would say, "Punani, I'm going to sing you a song that should put you to sleep, because when I come home, I want you to be resting in bed." So he would, create a song.
That's beautiful.
And of course I would sleep. But the minute he came home, the minute that door opened, I got up. And he would walk in the room, he would say, "Pua, how come you're up?" And I would say, "Daddy, I was sleeping, but I knew I heard your music when you would come in the room, and that opened me up." So music was definitely a part of my world.
And how do you think we can use music as and help the next generation to use music as a tool to keep us more connected and more empathetic with each other?
Well, the composition of that music, yeah, how it is written, tells a story. You know, and stories are what children easily listen to. So I would say the composition of that music, that song, or that music composition is important. You know?
Absolutely.
So it begins with that. The thought that goes into that composition, that writing. And then when that is done, then the music that is needed to uplift and be able to bring the expression of the message that comes out of that composition back to the world, to people.
And can you share, having had so much experience around music, how a personal experience that you've had where you've seen a piece of music or music itself really transform the human spirit?
It's real easy.
Yeah.
You can be sitting there and not expect anything and hear a composition and really end up crying. Something touched you. Just that single note coming together, creating that composition, or the words telling a story hits you. Of course, you will react. And tears always.
Tears always. And you see this in your children?
I see it everywhere. Not only my children, I see it out here, the music. Whether it's the construction there is music that comes from that. The birds, the wind, the ocean, the waves coming in, music.
It's beautiful. Thank you. And what's the song you carry in your heart today?
I have several songs. One of the strongest ones, and it comes as a teaching, is about Aloha Keakua, which means God is love. Aloha Keakua, God is within. Aloha Keakua, God is, I am. In general, any composition that comes and speaks of aloha, portrays aloha, shares aloha, that is my ka'i. That is good. It is fun.
Thank you so much for sharing with me. Thank you.
You're
so
welcome.
beautiful. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Aloha.
Thank you. Yes, I know. It's true. I'm just